I'm from Mississippi. Yeah, we pussy P on them, but I P stand for pimp. Grew up in a farmhouse, raised plugging chickens. They can't understand us, cause we talk a little different. Up there they say pants, down here we say bridges. Up there they say soda, down here we say pop. Car break down, we fix our own shit, don't need no shop. Run into that money, lose my leg to our heart. Country, young nigga, let's go. Get it, ayy, don't stop. Just follow my lead. Bottom of the pack, just squeeze. Promise this shit ain't easy. Double J make shit look like a breeze. We ain't see a snake take heat. Don't get big playing stupid. Mississippi, get on speed.
So stop with all them bullshit moves about where I come from. I'm just saying I ain't tripping on your role, but let's be real, you ain't never been around here before, man. You ain't never seen the stars and the moon glow. Never heard your granny yell out, boy, stop slamming them doors, hey. Anime, think about them all the time. Show the young boy how to be a grown man. From a grown man to a king so I can shine. Light brights and bright lights and let your little light shine. Believe that though. When you came up where I come from, you gotta do what you gotta do to achieve that though. Them dreams and all that, that bling and all that, them screens and all that, and them old school when they fall down and that wood grain too, and that diamond in the back. Man, you seen that? Man, I got it just like that. Hold up, I remember not knowing where I came from until I realized where I come from. Proud parents, black.
Need a spoiler alert. Just took me one to church. They say practice what you preach. In the pews, I'm immersed. Give you tools you can use. Up to you to make them work.
I'm getting ready for the lift off. I see it like I got thighs in. Dog, I'm really touching my dreams. Nigga, I can really feel goals. I'm getting ready for the kick off. King about to go and explode. I've been ready from the get
time. I'm zeroed in while I bun down. When I settle in, I break ground. Feel the bass when you not around. Golden glove with a triple crown. I raise the ring cause I hold it down.
I'm about to chase money in case. Clean up base. Pick up the pace. I'm about to chase money in case. Clean up base.
Got a call for it if you got it. Ain't no stopping on the go. Got a call for it if you got it. Going live, could hit the show. Got a call for it if you got it. Ain't no stopping on the go. Got a call for it if you got it. Going live, could hit the show. Pick up the pace. Two scene ain't enough. Four top team is us.
And teaching other people or trying to motivate others to be more into a leadership field within their community or their family or on the job, whichever they choose are fitting. But we're gonna go over like probably up to 5 or 7 questions today. Basically what I'm supposed to do is to interview a leader that I believe that demonstrates a positive approach to leadership that motivates others. And I felt like you were a good candidate. I chose up to 5 people and you were of my top two of the 5. So I wanted to know what positive motivation strategies do you use daily within your team, like whether it's within your family, community, or within your business?
Okay, I'll say this. Obviously I have 2 businesses, well really 3 in the city. My bar, which is my most recent, I will say that I am still learning how to kind of have those skills, but I do kind of look at myself as a leader though, and I'll say this, one thing I've just kind of learned along my journey of trying to be a leader, obviously I play sports, that played a big part of my background, so I kind of try to use those things that we kind of learned just from playing, like just accountability, sort of to say, because in sports, it's a team effort, and you always have to be dependent on the next person. So I kind of try to take those qualities and kind of pass those on to people that I may be around by, kind of trying to hold them accountable, because at the end of the day, we all have to do our job, whatever it may be, and do our part to kind of put the pieces to the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? Like my part that I do may be something totally different than yours, but I rely on you just like you rely on me. So I kind of try to use my the lead by example approach by like just showing and exemplifying like great work ethic, trying to be a team player at all times, trying to do whatever I can to keep people around me happy, while also trying to motivate them by leading by example, because if they see, being that, in my case, being the owner of the business, that they see me working hard or see me doing, small things, and that kind of rubs off on them, to kind of let them know, like, hey, you know what, hey, this is the guy who owns the place, look at him, he's sweeping the floor or he's doing this. So I kind of try to, be as transparent as I can with them, and, ask them, what is it, what do they ask of me as well, that they want to see, or what could I do better to be a better leader to them. I always try to be, communicate that with them, like in every aspect. Like I want us to be transparent. I want everybody to be straightforward. Like, don't try to get, all uptight. If there's something wrong, let me know so we can try to fix it, and communicate those things. And, that's the main key, if you ask me, which is communication. And that goes in every aspect, whether it's family, whether it's business, whether it's anything. If you communicate with people the right way and everyone's on the same page, it makes everyone's job a lot easier, no matter what it may be. So if it's, wife communicating with me, hey, can you pick the kids up today? Boom, there you go, as opposed to, waiting till 4:30, 5 o'clock. Hey, you need to pick the kids up at 5:15. Well, now, hey, what's going on? But if you told me at 12 o'clock, that communication, then you got time to prepare yourself to do that. So I kind of just take that same aspect in business, and try to, and I'm, like I said, I'm still learning too, and I try to tell my team that we in this together. Like, I don't know the business. I haven't been in it long enough. So help me to help you. That's what I like to always tell them, like, because I don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? I don't, like, I'm still new to this. Like, I'm learning as I go. So help me however you can to help you by communicating issues or anything with me. Like, don't feel like, we in this together. You know what I'm saying? Because just like you depend on me to, take care of whatever. I sign the checks, I have a payroll and everything, but I also depend on you just as much to, to maybe cook this, or maybe fix these drinks, or maybe clean this, or maybe do something like that. Like, everyone has their own responsibility. So, I try my best to, to exemplify that and lead by example, and hopefully I'll be doing a good job.
I like that. So for you, the positive strategies that you use is to be that, like, you have to be the mold. Show everybody what that leader looks like, starting from yourself. Not just expecting, them to do it on their own. You have to show them the example of who the leader is. So I like that. Also, I wanted to ask, how does your behavior, how does the behavior and the team results change due to the positive motivation methods that you use? I think like mostly overall, so far you have given examples, but could you give like more to the behavioral aspect of it, to how it changes due to your motivation methods?
Honestly, it's, it gets rough at times regardless. Like, that's why I always try to keep a positive, mindset, and I try to always be positive, like, with me, because I've always been the type of person, that I want to be that positive impact. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try not to bring other issues that I may have going on into my actual business or whatever, my family life or whatever that may be. Now, I'd be lying if I said that it's all perfect with me still trying to lead or still trying to show examples or lead, because sometimes you just don't. And I'm learning this myself as I go, that no matter what you may do, or how you may try to come off and lead or be impactful, or what, some people just don't understand the team concept. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to try to, still stand firm for what you believe in, but you have to also understand that not to bend to go against what you believe in for the people that may not believe in or see what you see, and it's just, like I said, I'd be lying if I sat up here and told you that every single thing that I've been through business-wise, whether it was relationships or employees or anything, it was always in the best interest of what the business had going on. But that's the tough part about it, like you still have to stand on what you believe in, and if those certain individuals don't believe in what you have or what's in the best interest of the whether it's the family, the business, or anything, then you just have to understand, like, do not go against what you believe if that's what you if it's the right thing, because I've been around, like, I'm fortunate enough to say this, and obviously I didn't make crazy amounts from my background of playing sports, professional sports, but I can't really speak on too many workplaces because I've only worked in 2 workplaces. I worked at IGA or Sunflower, should I say, when I was in high school, and I worked at Foot Locker when I was in college. But other than that, I haven't really worked in the actual workforce. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've just been a professional athlete, and then I came out kind of trying to be straight entrepreneur once I kind of figured it out. So I can't really speak for being in other workplaces, but I just know that's why I always revert back to that the sports background, because to me that was a workplace, and it gave me principles about life that I still apply to this day, and like I said, it goes back to the accountability thing. I know one of the best sayings that they used to always say was do your job. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about the next man. Don't worry about what they got going on. Just do your job. You know what I'm saying? If your job is to do this, you do your job, and then you just hope and pray that accountability that your next man, guess what he doing? He's doing his job. So I kind of try to keep that, into my actual life. And like I said, I'd be lying if I said it's always been smooth sailing, because it hasn't. You know what I'm saying? It's not always in the best interest of certain individuals, and you have to learn to deal with those while not going against your characteristics. But what you do, you just kind of adapt a little bit, understand what's going on, and just keep doing what you do and believe that what you're doing is the right thing, and trust what you got going, and just trust that the right people in the right situations, they gonna come to life. And that's kind of what, like I said, I'm learning those things day by day. I've only been running my restaurant going on roughly four months, and I can say I've probably been tested in every level that I can with that, but I'm still trying to stay true to what I believe in. Still just, going off my things in life that I learned. Still trying to do right by my employees, and just trusting that what I'm doing is the right thing. I'm not gonna change up who I am, based on, what this individual believes this is what we should be doing or whatever. No, like, I understand that everything needs structure, you know what I'm saying? Because in sports, we had schedules that we abide by every day, and we had to be somewhere at a certain time every day. So that's just like a job, you know what I'm saying? Practice at 8 o'clock. You do this from 8 to 10. You might got weights from 10:30 to 12, lunch from 12 to 2. And you just kind of try to apply those things. And like I said, I'm figuring this out because this is the first time I really had to manage employees. So I'm still figuring it out. But at the same time, I do know this, that I will get it figured out. Because I understand, that you have to go through certain things, and that you have to exemplify, strong leadership through whatever the situation may be, without having to actually, give up or, show signs of, that you feel, like you can't really always let your emotions get the best of you, so stay true to what I believe in, and trust the process.
I love that. So what I'm getting from it is that having a strong foundation sets those behaviors and creates, that's the positive motivation that you give that sets the tone or behaviors towards your team. It gives you those good results. When you maintain that strong foundation, make sure that you stick to what you believe in, have that structure, and make sure that your team is understanding the vision that you have with that structure. That's how you maintain a positive atmosphere, great behavior with those with your team. So
don't go against what you believe.
Yeah.
Do not go against what you believe. If you believe it's the right thing and you understand and you can see it, don't go against it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and I also wanted to mention I forgot to mention your business. Could you state what your business name is?
I have my restaurant is 21 Ultra Bar and Grill. That is a full bar and restaurant. We serve a little bit of everything. We have food, we have alcoholic beverages, we have a little bit of everything. It's a nice space. We have TVs everywhere, so you can kind of enjoy sports and activities. And overall, it's a real nice place.
Yeah.
And I have a clothing store right next door, which is like more of a urban streetwear type clothing.
Yeah.
Which is literally directly right next door. We have which is my personal brand, which is Easy Living. As you can see, that's what I have on now, which is funny you talk about it, but this is one of my hoodies, and it says motivate, dedicate, elevate. And that's kind of like what I kind of created, kind of based on the lines of what we're talking about right now, which is motivate the team, you dedicate to your craft, and then you just gonna elevate.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I like that motto. So easy living, basically balancing your life with again, motivate, dedicate, elevate.
Yes, this was just like a design, but it's really easy living, and our little slogan is like stay balanced. So
yeah.
I just try to create motivational pieces throughout my line, because I feel like the brand name Easy Living, it kind of speaks for itself. And like I said, the little slogan is really stay balanced, and that basically says like no matter what you're going through in life, whether it's highs, your lows, whatever, just kind of stay balanced. Like never get too high, never get too low. Just always stay balanced, whether you at your best time in your life or whether you at your lowest. Just stay right there in the middle, and that's kind of what I live by. Never get too high, never get too low.
I love that. Okay. So, you said that's Easy Living, and you said 21 Bar and Grill, correct?
21 Ultra Bar and Grill, yes, ma'am.
21 Ultra Bar and Grill. Okay. That's in
Macomb.
Yes. Okay.
112 North Broadway.
Yes, y'all make sure y'all go to 112 North Broadway. All right, so I do have just a few more questions. I don't want to keep you long because I know I'm tired. It's at the end of the day, and I appreciate you doing this interview. It's greatly appreciated. I think I'll ask you probably one more. Let me see, one of the most significant. Let's see. Okay, I would say this is for me, it's the most important. It's dealing with work-life balance. How do you maintain it as a leader?
Yeah, that one, that's probably one of the more tough ones. But I'll say this, I'm a little blessed for my situation, and I'm gonna say this because my wife, she plays a big factor in that, and she really allows me to kind of do what I need to do for work. I do because a lot of people don't know, but I technically live in Florida, and so I'm
dual living.
Yeah, so it's
living in 2 different cities.
Yeah, so I kind of our schedules kind of play like around around, perfectly around each other, based on what I have. So most of the time, I'm here during the weekdays. I'm kind of here doing whatever I need to do family wise, whether it's pick my daughters up or keep my, which I have a newborn now. She'll be one next month, so I guess you can't really call it newborn. But yeah, so I kind of try to spend that basically during the weekdays with them, and do whatever I need to do from home, whether that's whether it's market, whether it's kind of stay in contact with my team to let them know, that they let me know what they need done, and I just kind of, stay on top of it that way. I kind of structured it that way. For the first 2 months or so, my wife allowed me to just be gone, and I was down there making sure everything with the business wise was okay. To the point to where I try to, get the ins and outs and understand how business would flow, what needed to be done staff wise, and yeah. So that was probably the toughest part though. But I'll say this right now, I'm in the early stages of business, and I always like to kind of tell myself I'm young, so I make a lot of sacrifices as well. And my wife makes sacrifices with me, because I give up a lot of my weekends to work.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a tough part right now. But both of my kids, one is 7, well, she'll be 7 in August, and my newborn, well, she'll be 1 next month. So I kind of want to put the time in right now, business wise, because I'm my own. I work for myself.
Yeah.
I kind of want to put that time in now, with the playing the long game, trying to get that out the way now while they're young, so that I can have, a little more time on the back end once I got this figured out, to spend more time with them. So I try not to miss many events that they have going on or whatever my daughter has, like whether it's dance recitals or, school plays or, teacher visits or whatever, because I'm here during the week. So I try not to miss some of those things, because that's, support is a real big thing that I believe in, because my mom and my family always was there for me. Whether it was sports or whatever the case was, they made sure they didn't miss too many games. So I always was able to see somebody there to watch me do something, So I kind of want to be the same way for my kids. So, but yeah, that's kind of the tough part though. That's the hardest part, being that I try to be in both places sometime, or I have to be in both places, or try to be, and I have to make a decision sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just trust and believe that what I'm doing will one day, set me up to where I won't have to be there as much, because I always remind myself every day, and I kind of tell myself that, I don't care where you go and what you're doing, on a day-to-day. Of course, somebody owns something that you're going to.
Yeah.
Whether you know them or not, I don't care where you go. Throughout the course of a day, someone owns that business. And I'm so hands-on and been so hands-on because I had my clothing store for like going on 9 years now. And I've been so hands-on with that, and now I'm just kind of pulling myself away just a little bit. And then, like I said, the restaurant is my new baby, and 4 months in, and I kind of got people that to kind of handle that while I'm not there as much. But yeah, so I'm kind of learning, but I'm still hands-on a lot. So like I said, I just try to stay focused, trust and believe in what I'm doing is the right thing. I try to, be, still do what I need to do at home, so that my wife won't feel the need of me. But she do a great job with my kids, and I try not to ask too much of her on the business side, because I know that I don't want to get her too tied up in doing what I'm doing, because it's not like, you work for yourself. The truest thing they can tell you is that you don't work 40 hours a week, and that's the truest thing I can say, because I might work that in 2-3 days, because it's never not something that needs to be done. So with her, she helps me balance it out a lot more, because when I may be at work on the weekends, I try, like I said, I don't ask too much of her. So she may be out, and she might take the girls to do something, so which I'm almost certain she gonna do that every week. It's very rare that they just gonna sit in the house and not do something, whether it's go to the beach or go out to eat, go to the little fun places. Like, yeah, but that's the part that I miss out on right now. But I try to, look at the longevity and tell my daughter, daddy's just trying to do something for the family, like have a business for you in the long run, and I try to preach that to her. She understands at this point now, but she know I won't be doing it forever. She know that, it's gonna come a time where daddy gonna be there more, but right now I'm just trying to, sacrifice this time while I say I'm still young. But like I said, without her, my wife, I gotta give her the credit because she definitely helps, balance that out a lot, and without her, it would be a lot tougher because I can tell you this, the time I have both of them, I know it gets tough, and I couldn't imagine, it's done been times where I take my baby, my baby down there with me like the last 2 months, and she in the restaurant with me, and I'm trying to do stuff and trying to make sure she's straight. So, just having that person that that you can depend on, and make sure the kids is good and still living a good life, like that.
Yeah.
Her that balance would not be, it would not be there out as much, unless I had, family members or somebody to pick it up. But I try not to ask that much of them either. So, but yeah, she definitely, I got to give her the credit for balancing that out for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's really good. It's like you guys have like what you were mentioning earlier. You got that foundation and that structure, and she's able to. It's like you guys are well. Of course, you guys are a unit. You guys are creating that level of balance, having her as that support system for you to create that work life balance. So I like the ways that the way you're doing everything, and it's crazy how everything you mentioned. I noticed that even with your clothing line, it still is with that motto. It's easy living, basically easy living, but you're making sure that you're balancing everything out. So and so strategically too. So that's beautiful. It's real beautiful. I think that we have enough. Well, I wanted to ask you a few more things, but I don't. I think I'm gonna settle it in with that right now because, yeah.
I mean, it's fine. I'm not. I mean, I'm okay. I'm all about positive talks.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
All right. I'm gonna ask you another. Now the one that I wanted to ask you was. Let's see. Right, let's see here. So, what do you feel is the most important qualities or skills that you believe a leader needs to possess to effectively motivate others?
I would probably say being the number one thing I would probably say is lead by example.
Yeah.
Because, and I mean, and I don't mean to say all leaders don't have to be liked.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that, like, I'm not saying all leaders have to be complete buttholes, but I mean,
Right.
leading by example would be probably the most that I would say, because if you can kind of show me something, or tell me, like, how some people just, it's like it's hard to just tell them something, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying that because, not all leaders have to physically do something. So I don't mean by lead by example that way. Whatever it may be by lead by example, it's just by work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be physically doing this, and this, but if they see you are hard working, whatever you're doing, that should rub off, because I don't want, the worst thing I could say is trying to have someone lead me and they ask me to do things that they wouldn't even do, and I've never really been one of those type of people. But if you see someone working hard in whatever area it is that they're asked to be, then that's gonna kind of rub off on you, because that also becomes that once you lead by example, then what falls right behind that is accountability. Because if I can do this and I can, take care of what I need to take care of, and then you falling short, and that's not, you're not being held accountable for what you're doing. So
Yeah.
I don't want. I would hate for a leader to ask more of me than they would ask from themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Liked or not. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Because sometimes being too nice of a leader will get you pushed over. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's why I say you don't have to be liked to be a leader. You know what I'm saying? But if you can lead by example, they don't have to like you. You know what I'm saying? They gonna respect what you do and respect your work. At least any person I feel is a real person would, would respect what you got going on, because if the ultimate goal is to win, I don't gotta like this guy, but I know one thing: he gonna come and do whatever he got to do to win every time. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, that's probably one of my worst characteristics is being liked, trying to be liked by everybody while trying to be a leader. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like one of the negatives or downfalls that I have, is sometimes I shouldn't be as nice as I am. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what type of characteristics I'm gonna go all out for whatever it is I'm doing. But sometimes again it falls back to where, trying to be a leader and trying to be liked, and it hurts me sometimes. So that's what I say. But no matter what, I would definitely have to go with lead by example.
Make an example.
That's the one that that you can touch everybody with that one. If you doing it how you supposed to, how you preaching it, then everything else out there it should be okay.
Okay, so
To the people that it matters.
right. So it's kind of like practical, as they say, practice what you preach, but lead by example mainly, and then taking accountability.
Yes.
Taking accountability.
Yes.
Okay. Let me go with. Let's see here. Okay, so what steps do you take to ensure that you have a positive and inclusive work environment? How do you, what steps do you take to make sure that everybody feels included?
I try to always talk, be transparent and talk and communicate with everyone. I try to always come in with a positive attitude,
Yeah.
so that I can kind of brush off and rub off on people like that. And if I see or feel as if someone, may not be being in their best mood or something, I try to ask them, like what's going on, what's wrong, is something I can do to help, like, just try to always have that positive affirmations and give them, let them know I got their back. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it may be. That falls back into that communication thing, and just kind of, see and kind of know, your people and learn them. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody is not the same person. You know what I'm saying? So you have to learn everyone and understand what this person likes, what this person don't like, what they excel at, what they don't excel in. Are they people's person? Are they not people's person? You know what I'm saying? So I try to learn everyone so that I know how to be there for them, how to know when they're off, when they're at their best, and things like that. Because everybody don't gel the same way.
Right. Yeah.
Learning them is the best thing to do to help me, keep everything together by knowing, what they excel in and what keeps them going, and I'm always talking to them to kind of, let them know that, everything gonna be okay no matter what it may be. I'm really like a positive person. Like positivity and peace is like my main things what I push to everyone, I understand we have bad days, and, I tell everybody you're allowed to have a bad day. That's normal, that's a part of life, you know what I'm saying? But with those bad days, I try to be there so we can talk about it, you know what I'm saying? If something going, let me know, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna have a bad day, but if you there to push positivity to me while I'm having a bad day, then that's gonna help me hopefully get up out of that bad day that I'm having, because it's a good, good work environment. Because I'm gonna be honest, like I always go back to playing sports, at least at the highest level that I had, which is professionally. And one thing I noticed about that locker room, like it was very rare that we had bad days. No matter what may be going on at home, it was very rare that we had bad days. We had a lot of positive people in there, that always push positivity no matter what it was. Even if we had a loss sometimes. Sometimes you might be quiet on the ride back, but when you get back up in there, man, somebody gonna push some type of positivity, you know what I'm saying? No matter what it may be. We could be done had the worst day, might have a bad practice, but somebody in there gonna be positive and they gonna let us know, hey, yeah, we lost this game, but hey, man, look, we out here doing our dream job, man. Like, hey, get your mind right. You know what I'm saying? Then you put all that into perspective, and you be like, you know what, he is right. Like, it ain't the end of the world. Like, we doing what we love to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got people out here doing this and this, and then when you do, it makes sense, and you're like, oh, you know what? Yeah, you're right, bro. Like, then they get everybody going. So
Yeah.
I take those things, you know what I'm saying, is never as bad as it may seem. So I take things like that and I still try to implement that in the workforce. Like anybody will tell you, like, I don't care what somebody tell me, like, it could be this. I'ma always find something positive out of the negative. You know what I'm saying? I always got some positive for you. Always. Like, I don't care what you're going through. I always got something positive for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets hard in certain situations for people to stay positive, but even in a negative situation, I will still find something positive.
Right. Okay. Okay. So what you do to have everybody to keep that to ensure that there's positivity and that it's an inclusive environment. You make sure that everybody is included. You learn them their behaviors, their characteristics. Make sure that it's to maintain a positivity. Try to convert whatever it is that's going wrong or that bad day. You try to convert that with either positivity somewhere or another, so everybody can have that atmosphere, maintain that same atmosphere of positivity. Okay. Okay. All right. So far, basically in summary, what we've gone over is that these are the ways that for your team, for your community, for your family, this is how you motivate your team. Well, this is how you motivate them as a leader. We've gone over positive motivation strategies. We've gone over different ways on how behavior changes and results of having positive motivation methods are implemented within your leadership role. And just overall, just notice how you're able to maintain work-life balance too. So I think those are great aspects of a leader. And to me, I know you kept mentioning like earlier, like with the restaurant and everything, how you're just starting out and you're going with the flow of things. And I think that's one of the greatest things that the one thing that jumped out to me is that well, just personally from hearing everything you were saying, you're so humble. You are
Thank
so
you.
humble within it all,
Thank
and you can feel that aura of humbleness and peace and positivity, and that just that is contagious. It's contagious to in a good way to be that way. So when you radiate those things, that light, other people feel it. Other people are bound to be motivated. Just gain strength within their weaknesses from being able to have that type of leader. So I just want to commend you for what you're doing within your family, your community, and within your workplace as a business leader, as a leader in general, and as a brother king. So thank you so much. Continue to do so. And one other thing, I wanted to commend your wife because without wifey, without mom there to be able to help out and maintain that thing, all those things, get some of that weight off your shoulders. That also to be able to what I call delegate, to be able to have some money in your corner to help you delegate those things. That's what also helps in having a leader because you can't do it on your own. You gotta either have a higher power and then also have have someone here to delegate within those decision making. So it's definitely commendable to wife.
And I'm gonna be honest. I didn't give a enough credit because I said I don't ask much of her in the business, but she definitely handles some of the business too. Like,
Yeah.
she does a lot of, she did the complete menu build out on the for the restaurant. She handles the payroll. So I said that, but she definitely still has her hands on. She makes all the orders and stuff like that, and yeah, she definitely still does her part. She just does it from afar. You know what I'm saying? But she definitely still helps me in that aspect as well. So I just wanted to let that be known because she still does. Like like I said, I say I didn't ask much of her, but she still helps me out in that level too. Like she still makes sure that I'm running smooth over there too. So yeah, definitely shout out to her for sure.
Okay, well, definitely we're going to shout out to wife and also to your team, because it's nothing without your team, without your family, the community. So thank you so much. And once again, state your name for everybody so they can know, and business.
Okay, my name is Bobby Felder. I'm owner of 21 Ultra Bar and Grill. That's located at 112 North Broadway, Macomb, Mississippi. And also the owner of Urban Vibes, which is located right next door, and that's 116 North Broadway, Macomb, Mississippi as well. And we also have two Airbnb properties as well, right above the restaurant and the store. Those are also located at 114 North Broadway. So if you're up in Macomb and you need an Airbnb, come check us out.
Well, y'all, we're going to conclude this. Thank you so much for joining us. And keep thriving in everything that you're doing. We'll be watching you. And definitely rooting you on throughout the way. So you have a nice remaining evening. Look at that big old moon that's out tonight. And keep radiating peace and positivity and stay balanced.
Thank you so much. This was definitely a much needed interview, and I definitely appreciate you for having me and reaching out. And I definitely enjoyed every second of it. And if there's ever anything I can do, feel free to reach out and contact me anytime.
All right. Thank you. You have a nice one.
All right, you too.
Be well.
All right.
I'm with Jermaine Henderson. Jermaine is in Mississippi. He's one of our family leaders. He is also within the community a leader as well, and on his job too, through his business. And so I wanted to choose different leaders that I got compelled to choose different leaders for 3 different reasons. One for personal, just for my own personal development and growth, and then also for an assignment that I had in my own within my own career for advancement. We're doing right now we're on our 7th week, looking for different leaders that motivate throughout their families, communities, or through their businesses. And also, the third part is for my podcast that I do with my fiance. We call it Inconvenient Truths. So we'll be just asking a few questions. I have about 3 of the main questions. It's all about leadership and motivation. And Jermaine, if you wanted to say anything prior to, you can. But I can go ahead and start with the questions. And okay. All right, so I'm just generating those questions now. And at the same time, I'm at work, so let's see here. Give me just a moment. And I wanted to personally thank Jermaine for getting on here. He is a very busy man, and he is actually on his way home from work doing all of this, so it's greatly appreciated. And let's see here. All right, I'm just getting into some stuff right now. All right, so one of the questions I had. The first one is, what are the positive motivation strategies that you use?
Well, it's crazy. I just had a conversation with somebody about this yesterday. For me, more so, say it's not a motivation strategy that I use. It's just why I always try to remember where I came from and where I just, with me being incarcerated for almost 16, 17 years and run across dudes and who's still in those unfortunate situations in prison that would never come home. And, and being able to talk to them still and stay connected to them, they keep me grounded and never ended it, and always like for us to stick to the plan, because a lot of people tend to say when they behind bars, like, oh, I'm gonna get home, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna change this, but I've been to actually do that. So my whole thing was to try to be a part of my main environment, but displace myself from it, if it makes sense at the same time, because this people, places, and things be the bigger hindrance of the growth. So how could I say I'm a changed man, but here I am, I'm still hanging with the same people. So let's say, for instance, right, if you say, oh, I'm on a diet, but here I am, I'm still eating fast food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was the biggest thing right there. So, just with me, just being a part of those guys' lives to sit behind boards and then forget about them, because a lot of people do come home and forget about those relationships that they build with guys and don't answer phone calls or, don't write letters and stuff like that. So, with me, that's my biggest motivation, because I want to speak for the unspoken, So that's my, if I say that's my plan, I don't think it's not a plan, it's just an agenda that I believe wholeheartedly in, so I can stick to that.
Okay. All right. So you try to make sure that you're still you still connect in a positive way, and you speak for the unspoken. You basically an advocate. You advocate for them, and that's how you bring apart positive motivation throughout the community, throughout others.
Yeah, but it's guys that who still come home, who still got opportunities to come home. So, with me, I want to show them, like, hey, if I can do it being this, what they call a big drug dealer power, if I can say I was that and I can transfer it to this, if I can do it, you can't do it. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So you don't have to go back to your same environment and be, be what you was, or try to, because a lot of people put, pride is the bigger killer of man. And a lot of people know how to put their pride to the side. So when they come home, they want people to feel like, oh, I'm this guy, word is bravado, chest poking out because I did all this time. And, no, I wasn't. I'm not that. I don't have no ego issues, nothing like that, no pride issues or nothing like that. So I just want to show those guys who do also have opportunity to come home, like, hey, if I can do it, bro, you can do it. So I have a lot of guys that, they hit me up like, man, bro, you motivate me, bro. Like, you showed me that I can do it. If you did, I can do it. So that's another one of my driving forces right there.
Yeah. Okay. So I like the fact that you're doing it. Like you're basically giving the example you're giving an example of hope too. Like you're showing people out there that you don't have to be the product of your environment person. And you can actually grow from that, and you can develop and flourish past it.
Exactly. It's about, with me, it's about having, a lot of people don't understand the difference between sympathy and empathy. So with me, I empathize with people, so that's one of the biggest things with me, I empathize. So, it's like, you have to take yourself out of your own flesh and look at other people's and put yourself in other people's shoes. You know what I'm saying? So why I want to tell you, hey, please run through that wall. If I'm not going to run through that wall first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just they empathizing with people.
Yeah. So like you empathize to the situation overall, like holistically, and
Exactly.
you also you try to practice what you preach too, like you
that that saying that be careful because the janitor can become the owner. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say with the empathize, like I never take look down on a person's situation, their plight in life. Because I understand that people have everybody have a reason of why. And that's one of my biggest things. I always try to think about a why. that question right there always comes to mind when I'm dealing with anybody. I'm talking to anybody like, why are you at this place in life, or why you choose to do what you choose to do? It's always a why, and a lot of people want to skip over that question and just try to think about, oh, they should be doing it, they shouldn't be doing this, but it's always a why they're doing it. So
Yeah.
that's my thing right there. Empathizing with people asking why.
Okay. You know what? That is a really good way to look at it. Like most people don't even think of that. Like initially, like, hey, okay, instead of me just automatically assuming, why don't I first think about why? That's really good. Okay. So
Why?
the next one I wanted to ask, and it could be utilized in any situation, like either within your business, through your family, or just in general for yourself, but overall throughout the community. But does how does the behavior change towards your team, towards those that you try to motivate when you use positive motivation methods? Like have you seen any change in behavior when you use those positive motivation strategies that you were mentioning?
Yes, yes, yes. That's the biggest saying. Speak life to people.
Yeah.
In order to be a leader, you got to know how. In order to lead, you got to know how to approach everybody different. Something different. That might, well, some others might not take that. They call them the coward in the cell like a turtle. It's like you have multiple kids. Being a parent, you can't parent each kid the same. If you have
Right.
that knowledge of separate word, you have to understand that everybody learning curve. So with me, like I said, I always try to speak positive to people. Like, it's no different from being a great leader on the sport. You gotta, if I got an open shot, sometime I might pass the ball to a guy, let him take the shot just so he can feel engaged in the game. So he won't feel like he's just a sitting duck. And even if he misses a shot, man, it's okay, pick your head up, you'll make the next one. You got to keep speaking it to people. You know what I'm saying? So with me, it's like, going back into those same neighborhood that, I help cause destruction in and come back and plant trees now. You know what I'm saying? So you have I see it dealing with some people that I done brought along the path with me. My brother, my partner Rick is like my brother. He's one of the one of those guys that is big at when it comes down to speaking to it, life into people too. So it's like I just always been my thing right there. I don't never look down on a person. I always look up at a person or direct at a person. So
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
I read a book when I was in prison, and the synopsis of the book is the difference between selfish and self-concern. It's the root word is self. You know what I'm saying? But the end is selfish and concern. So a lot of people get it misconstrued. Selfish means you will step on anybody told for a personal gain. But self-concern just means you just put yourself first. And us being humans, we don't understand the power of the word. So when you can use the word wrong, you can make it the whole meaning change. So a person would make you feel bad for like, hey, Nick, you selfish because you won't give me such and such, such and such. If you love me, you would do such and such, such and such. But why do it have to be a stipulation on my love? Why you can't make me feel bad? You're not gonna make me feel bad by putting myself first. That comes with kids or anybody, a loved one or a relationship or a marriage. But no two people ever love each other the same. So it shouldn't be a comparison. So with me, like I said, I just love trying to speak positive. I'm one of the guys that I see the world. I see the world through an optimistic lens. I'm not a pessimist. I see the better and I see the best of the better in everybody. Even if a person might have wronged me or done some harm to me, I always try to think of, like I say, I always go back to that word, why. You know what I'm saying? People have to understand why a person does the thing they do or move the way they move.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me I do have one other question. Now it's not necessarily dealing with motivation, but it's more to the leadership, like how do you deal with things holistically? But what does work-life balance look like for you? Generally, in order for you to motivate others, I feel like you have to have some form of balance. But how do you go about creating balance within your work in your life?
Honestly, I hate that word balance
Yeah.
because balance it just I think about it. That's my health immediately is my motivation to show others. Like I stay grind, I grind all the time. I grind
Yeah.
all the time. So it's like, you know, it's just about having a person on your side if you're in a relationship or, you know, a marriage or whatnot, you know, you have a person that understands, you know, the end game, the purpose behind, you know, what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because when you try to grow a business, it shouldn't be no such thing as I'm cutting up at this time today. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
Yeah.
trying. Yeah, if I'm able to assist a person in something in an endeavor, I'm gonna answer the phone call. I'm gonna talk to it. I'm gonna try to find a way, you know, to make sure a person get what they need. Even if I'm not may not be in range of it, I'm still trying to make sure they get what they need. You know what I'm saying? Because they can be like, well, dang, man, let me call him because I know what Jermaine gonna do. He's gonna go over and beyond for me. You know what I'm saying? So with me, as long as I don't feel like, you know, because I had a time where, you know, I feel like, well, I'm going to rest this weekend or something like that, you know what I'm saying? And try to give, especially when I just had a little daughter. I got a newborn. She's 10 months old now. You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole thing, trying to, you know, spend those moments with her as much as I can, but, you know, trying to get ahead of the curve. So when she gets to that age where she understand what's going on and won't dare around, so like that, I'll be able to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't, healthy balance, I hate that when people say healthy balance because you have to know your own boundaries. Everybody's boundaries are different, but I keep pushing, man. I keep pushing.
So you basically do what works for not just yourself, but for everybody within your circle. You do
Yeah.
what works overall. So you're not so it's like well, yeah, I would say that probably in summary you do what works
Yeah,
best for the overall.
yeah. Like I said, 'cause, you know, 'cause you have some people like weekends they not gonna do nothing. They work Monday to Friday. This weekend they not gonna do nothing. Or when they get up at 4 or 5 o'clock, where I have time to get off. They not gonna answer phone call. They not gonna talk about nothing work related or nothing like that, job related or nothing like that. But me, I don't. No, I'm not gonna be like that. But you have other people who might in the same field I'm in. They might work a different time frame. Whereas, you know, they might, because I sell car wash chemicals and stuff. So a person to cut you off, I might stop selling at 4. They might still be watching the 7, 8, 9. You know, so they call me if I'm in a range, I'm gonna make that sale. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I'm in a sale-based field. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I generate my revenue. So I don't, and like I said, being that having a partner who understand that, you know, this is what it's about. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it just cause I'm doing it for the betterment of us too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, especially like I said, I did a whole lot of years in prison. So I have I work for peanuts on pennies in jail. So so
Yeah.
so I keep going, but that's my motivation right there. So I don't have that boundaries. I understand when people talk about balance and stuff like that, but I never believe in balance because I always believe in grinding. So
Yeah.
you get back what you put in. So
Okay. Okay. So I like that. Like you're more on like you think of it more to how can it be best fit for not only yourself but for the betterment of all. So you don't just think about yourself. You're doing this for the betterment of everyone.
like
How,
I told you,
how it works.
like I was saying earlier, you know, it's like they empathize or, you know, like if a person their financial standards or financial situation might not be as fine, stable as mine or whatnot. You know, so if a person on the grind, they trying to get there, why would I sit and say, "Hey, bro, dang, I can't do that for you right now, I'm off or whatnot." You know what I'm saying? Because they got family they trying to feed and stuff like this. So I want to see a person get put in life too. You know, so why wouldn't I try to make sure he got what that person has what they need to, you know, to be able to fulfill their customer need. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Right.
why it's no different. Like you should have said, like, you know, you trying to so you get to another job position, right?
You're right. Hmm.
So you could be just content with the position you have right now and be like, okay, well, I don't want to do it because the other job, you know, the other position might entail more hours. You know, it might entail you to do more. You know, so if you're not up to the standards of doing that, you might just get content or comfortable where you at and just be complacent. Like now, but you're willing to go over and beyond. Like now, you own a job with that job, and here you're trying to do an interview so you can get a promotion. So
Right.
how many people and other people might want to do it, but they don't want to do it because they don't want to do the extra work to make to get the promotion.
Yeah.
So yeah, so me, so it's all about grind, bro. The grind never stops. When I feel like I get to a place where in life where I'm able to do that comfort, I might find that depth. Right now, some depth.
Yeah. Okay. So you continue to make that, you continue to utilize that mindset, like continue to grind, but overall, also helping others, within
Yeah,
doing so. Okay.
it's a mutual relationship.
Yeah.
We're both benefiting off each other. So why would I say when you're on the ground like now, you gotta wait till tomorrow, but they got something that's probably near and dear to them right at that moment. They can't wait till tomorrow. So
Right. So you still helping people along the way. It ain't no selfish act. You still being able to help it'll benefit for yourself and then benefit for others.
other
Like you're
too.
not leaving nobody behind. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I like everything that we've gone over so far. Like you do a lot of things to motivate others. It's very impactful because you're changing lives by being able to extend out that time. Even even with past circumstances, and even with current things like you got a new baby or whatnot, and then still working and trying to, motivate your family, motivate others throughout the community, and still be able to maintain your grind and things you do within your own company that you work for. So, work and do your own company that you have. So, I like that. These are some great ways to motivate others, and it could be having that continual of a mindset to continue to go help other people no matter what, but still be on your grind.
Yep, that's it right there. That's a synopsis of it.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to use this. These are some of the things that I could utilize for my own personal growth, because I do, as a person, I want to grow. I see some things that I do, even whether it be within my own personal life or on my job, or just in general. I notice that there's always room to grow. There's
Always.
Right. So I'm
What
like, you know what? Why don't if I want to continue, because I know within myself I'm a leader, but I saw myself dwindle throughout the years because I became selfish, but in an unhealthy way, and not even noticing over time. Even that, it's not an overnight thing to change like that, but then
oh,
sometimes there are people that can radically change. It's all up into how you continue to stay with that mindset. So I wanted to make sure that within my circle of leaders that that I'm motivated by, that I utilize those strategies, and really not just do this for the assignment, but really really take heed to those things and be able to share that with the podcast, just in case other people can benefit and use those same methods.
when I was in jail, when I was in prison, I used to read a lot of autobiographies. I love autobiographies. I love reading like war generals and just people who did great things like David Goggins and stuff like that, like books like that, man. It just when you able to digest and people who test the limit of their bodies, their mind, spiritually and stuff like that, it shows you like, hey man, these are the type of things I want to accomplish in life. So us being grown and leaders and stuff like that, and especially when we raising children, I hate being I never want to be a walking example of everything I've seen to tell a kid not to do. You see what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
If I expect somebody else to do something, I try my best to display that same characteristics. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So that's just the whole thing about it. One of my biggest sayings I tell people an ounce can't fill a gallon, but a gallon can overflow an ounce.
Right.
So never look back to people what you expect people to give. So a lot of people will compare if I give you this and you don't give me the same thing back, I feel like you don't love me or you're not as real as me. But no,
Yeah.
no, you have to set people who they are. Everybody got different circumstances with how they was raised, how they think. So, you can't make a person think like you. So the best thing is never let a person deter you from your mission or your purpose in life.
Yeah.
And set those healthy boundaries. It's my brother Shannon. I haven't talked to Shannon in years.
Yeah.
It's because he don't display the things that I expect from others or the things I tend to say I hold dear to myself. So if I tend to say that if I expect it from one person, but here I am giving you a pass, that means I'm not true to who I say I am. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's about setting those boundaries. Whatever you feel like work for you, man, find out what work for you and stick to your gun, man. Never let nobody make you feel bad about it. Never make nobody feel you and make you feel any type of way about you what you're choosing to do for yourself. That's why I say big self-concern. That's one of my biggest things, self-concern. Whatever
Yeah.
makes myself feel good, I'm cool with that. I'm not gonna I'm letting nobody make me feel like, or you're wrong or you're showing or you're selfish. No. Stay on that same path, you'll get it, baby.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you
It's
so
all
much.
love. It's all love. It's all love. It's all love. Anytime, man, you need anything from just always, it's open door. Just call up and take us all love.
All right. Well, you stay safe, especially driving down that highway. And congratulations on your baby too, for you and mom, and also we'll continue to use those different strategies, those suggestions, the things that you mentioned. And also, I heard you were mentioning a book. What's that book called again?
David Goggins' book. It's David Goggins. The older David Goggins. He's like considered like the world's most strongest man, and he don't weigh no more, maybe 140, 50 pounds.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm talking about he went to all the Marine services, all four stages. I'm talking about the highest of the height, and he just set the record for the most pull-ups in a certain amount of time. He did all the Death Valley races. Like, man, you got David Goggins though. I'll send you the copy of the book. I'm gonna look it up. And I'm gonna send you the picture of it though, man. He's a bad dude, man, bad dude. But
Yes.
he teaches people how to tap. Well, he tell you about how to tap into that extra energy in your mind. Because a lot of things is mental. Few things more physical. It's mental. So you have to have that mental push. But your body can tell you to stop, and you just go with your body. But sometimes you have to tap into your mind to push you, keep you pushing, keep you driving. You know what I'm saying? So I'm when I get situated, I'm gonna see a picture of the book, and you'll be able to find it.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna be on the lookout for that when you send it to me, and we'll add it to the suggestions, like cause I do like book club too sometimes.
Okay.
So we'll definitely use that. Thank you so much once again, and you have a nice day. Okay.
You too, fam. It's all love.
All right.